Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. Somebody said, not so happy Monday. Yeah, Mondays do suck. But, it is what it is. Just another Matic Monday. Oh, whoa. First of all, let me know you can hear me. No need to waste words if you can't hear. So, if you can hear me, let me know, let me know, let me know. Okay. I see people are on there. Not a happy Monday. I see that. All right. I can't see the chat. Let's see. Make sure. There we go. All right. Glad you're okay. Prayers to those. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So, y'all can hear me? Well, if that's the case, then let me go ahead and get busy. Like real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some cheese in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man, there's gorillas in here. Now, also, there's a Kevin Corner store in here. So if you get a chance, check it out. Has all kind of merch in it. You can go ahead and shop till your heart drops. And there's a phone number that you can text MAGA to that just in case they boot me off this platform, we'll have a way of connecting. 330-974-4607. And then finally, if you want to support the channel, other ways you can do so through my Cash App and my PayPal. The links are below each video. And don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and make sure you turn your notification button on to all, because every time I chat with YouTube, they're trying to tell me that it's only a small percentage of people who actually are subscribing when they watch my videos and have their notification button on and set to all. They're blaming it on y'all. They're blaming it on y'all. So, I'm not going to let them get away with it. I'm going to say, yo, the people said that ain't true. That ain't true. So anyway, with that being said, I also want to recognize all of the citizens in the U.S. that's victim of the hurricane that took place. I tell you, man, some of the most beautiful places in America oftentimes come with a risk, unfortunately. I mean, I think about sometimes moving to Florida, and I'm like, okay, what part of Florida? So, you got to keep these people in prayer. And, I can't even imagine losing every single thing and then having to start all over again. So prayers go out to the victims of the hurricane and so on and so forth. Now, with that being said, we got to get busy, y'all, because Kamala Harris, she went down to the border. That's right, y'all. She finally drug her nasty butt down there. She jumped on that broom and decided I'm going to fly down there right past the moon. And landed down there for nothing. She went all the way down there for nothing. Because obviously nobody's believing that she went down there to actually get some stuff done. We all know the game. But before we get into Kamala Harris, we got to start with her mentor. You know who I'm talking about. You did it, Joe. We did it. Joe Biden has come out and he's been making a fool of himself. And I'll be darned if I let Creepy Sleepy go off into the sunset without me laughing at him a little bit. So let's see what he's been up to lately. Yeah, creepy.
It made it harder for people to buy stabilized bracelets.
Y'all remember that? Remember that, y'all? When he came out trying to talk about stuff he didn't know nothing about, stabilized bracelets. So now, here he is, I think, trying to get our guns on the way out. Yeah, he can't just go out, minding his own business, like all Democrats for no reason. Now, this is what makes me mad about Democrats like him and Nasty Pelosi. They're about 2 or 3 years away from the grave, and yet they're still practicing evil. I'm like, you're not even going to be around to see all the guns be confiscated. Why are you doing it now? What are you doing? I mean, Nasty Pelosi, what are you doing? You're supporting stuff that I'm thinking you're going to be going, you'll never see it. You just want evil to linger. You're not happy unless you go out knowing that I left some evil behind to destroy the American people. I'm like, just go out, man. But now he's trying to get our guns on the way out.
Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun.
Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun.
Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun.
Now, you know what really burns me up? Is when you see politicians come up with policies that can impact your life, step on your rights, and yet they don't even know anything about what they're talking about. That means it's being pushed and motivated by somebody else. They're just going, I'll be the mouthpiece for it. You think they know anything about climate change? Nope. You think these folks know anything about guns? Nope. But they'll come out there and they will, tell you, you got to obey all of the folks that's suggesting climate change is an existential threat. You think they know anything about vaccinations? Nope. They come out and say, get the shot, to obey us, and all this stuff. They don't know anything about it. Kamala Harris didn't even know anything about electric cars. And yet they're pushing this mess through the Green New Deal because somebody else is telling them this is our agenda. So that guy right there is trying to make decisions about your Second Amendment. And he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
We should expand background checks to better keep guns out of the hands of felons.
There it is, y'all. To better keep guns out of the hands. Can't even say it. Y'all got a gun? Anybody got a gun in the house? You might want to hide your guns.
To better keep guns out of the hands of felons.
I want to be very clear.
What?
This is not about taking away anyone's guns.
Now, as soon as you say that, you let me know. Yes, it really is. First of all, when they say, I want to be clear, or already know what you're about to do is hit me with either a lie or something unclear. Yeah, you're not going to lay it down straight. That's why you had to, preface it by saying, I want to be clear. And then says something to try to relieve our concerns. That ain't about trying to take anybody's guns away, which lets me know, oh, that's exactly what it's about. But let's continue.
It's about not about vilifying gun owners.
Gun owners. I would get some bubblicious, and now I found out I'm being demonized. Folks trying to take my gums. You can't take my gums. So either maybe he's talking about Nancy Pelosi's gums. Who knows? Or some children out there chewing bubblegum. I thought, give me that gum, kid. So, he's talking about he ain't trying to villainize gum owners.
Gun owners.
Gun owners. Because it's important to raise up what's happening. Most comprehensive federal guide ever on safe gum storage of firearms.
On safe gum storage.
On safe gum storage. There it is. Least be able to say the word that you're talking about. I mean, you got all these folks out here going, man, we got our eyebrow up when it comes down to the Democrats, because I know what y'all are really up to. And yet you come out here trying to divert, maybe distract us, trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm just trying to do this because of something else. And yet you can't even say the word. Can't even say the word. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm not giving up my gums. I ain't giving them up.
Firearms.
And then, of course, like dumb, like dumber. Look at this.
All of us love the country. But you can't love the country and say how much you love it when you only accept one or two outcomes from an election. Either you won or you were cheated. It doesn't work that way. You can't love the country when you refuse to maintain just the basic democratic principles that were set out that we all learned from the time we were kids in school, that you accept the outcomes of elections. You can't say you love the country when in fact you either win or you have been cheated.
Wait a minute. Did I accidentally rewind that? Did I put the clip in there twice? Because I'm pretty sure he said that. Now, first things first. It sounds like he's describing the whole Democrat Party, who never accept elections. Now, we already know, once Comedian get her butt kicked in November, every single one of them gonna come out, we're not certifying this election, Donald Trump's an insurrectionist, and this and this and that. People need to take to the streets and all of that stuff. You already know it's coming. Gizmo, cut it out. But nonetheless, he goes out there trying to drop a speech out there directed at Donald Trump. And what happens? He goes on repeat.
I already said that, didn't I? Yes, you did. Go.
We cannot accept Donald Trump's failure to lead. We should not permit scapegoating instead of solutions. And let's see what's happening. Let's not permit scapegoating instead of solutions.
I'm repeating myself, aren't I?
Dumb and dumber. That's right. He done passed that dumbness right on down to her. Yep. Said, take it, chameleon, and run with it. So here she is repeating the same stuff, just like creepy. She got that creepologist, creepitis rather. So that's the woman running for president. And of course, it is taking every ounce of propaganda in the media to try to even make her somewhat likable or palatable. But unfortunately, I don't think it's working. So somebody said static. Is my mic static? Emphasizing the letter. Okay. Anybody? My mic? Okay. My mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. Check 2. My mic sound. Okay. Good. Fine here. All right. So now we got us a popularity contest. Did anybody watch any football over the weekend? Oh man, some college football. Guess what? There was a cameo that took place at 2 football games. And I think it became a popularity contest. Let's see who won. All right, let's see the first game. Oh, Georgia and Alabama. Okay. Oh, what? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Woo! Listen to the crowd roar. Woo-wee. Now that's a warm welcome, but wait a minute. Maybe this is all CGI. Maybe these are all fake actors. Maybe Donald Trump paid maybe 1 or 200,000 actors to show up and yell and scream and go crazy when he showed up. Who knows? But I'm just going to go ahead and trust my eyes. Wow.
Meanwhile, get ready to vote.
Uh-oh. What the? Did y'all see the woke weirdo? So I guess he's doing something. And did he just do what I thought he did? Did he just grab his testes? Doesn't he know he's on video? Hold on with the woke weirdo. I knew something was up with this dude. I knew something was up.
Get ready to vote.
What's it? What is that? What is that? Control yourself, man. I knew he was a woke weirdo, but let's continue though. Here's Trump. Here we go. Oh man, where are all the haters? I hear a lot of screams, a lot of cheers. Oh, look at that black guy. That black guy right there was taking pictures of Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm sure he was taking pictures of him because of all of Donald Trump's racism and stuff. And that was a fake smile he had on his face. All right, let's continue. Look like they're having a rip-roaring good time. Make me mad that I wasn't at the game. Oh, snapping, passing out treats. Look at that. Now, I got a question. How do you think Kamala Harris would be received if she showed up? I'm just wondering. If she went to any unscripted event that doesn't guarantee that all the people in that event are there for her. I mean, you think she could ever go off script? What would happen if she or the woke weirdo showed up at the UFC and they announced him? You think everybody be going, woo? If anything, they be going, Tampon Tim, or Chameleon Harris. They can't go to unscripted places like Donald Trump can go because nobody likes them. That's why if they somehow pull this off, I know something went down rather. I'm going, wait a minute, man. Nobody likes them. I mean, I ride around all of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and I see maybe 1 or 2 Harris Walz signs out of 200 or 300 Trump signs. So you can't tell me that they're beloved and popular. So that's why I got my eyebrow up. I'm going, I got my eyebrow. If something go down during this election, I'm concerned. So now there's Trump, unscripted, didn't pay these people to come there, and yet they are screaming and loving him. But the media will tell you he's unpopular. I wouldn't even eat that stuff. I would go ahead and laminate it. It'd be like Donald Trump gave me some snacks. It's a little moldy. I've had it for 30 years now, and I'm passing it down through the family because this right here is gold. It's worth something. It's worth something. Pizza completely rotten, but I don't care. Donald Trump threw it at me. Look at the women. They scream, "Look!" And what I love about what I'm seeing, these are young adults. You know, I mean, it almost give me a little hope for humanity. Because for a minute, I thought all college students was bubbleheads and liberals. And it sounds like down there in Alabama, we still got some young adults who got some brains. Look at that. You hear that, audience? Now, I wonder how the media is going to explain this, or are they simply going to ignore it? That's what they're probably going to do. They're probably that sound right there was edited in. It's a deep fake. Those aren't real cheers. It's edited in. Yeah, right. That crowd is going nuts. Yeah, man. Loving it. Well, we better check in with the woke weirdo. Let's see what's going on his part. USA. USA. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh my. Did y'all hear that? That man said, "Get that bitch out of here." You think he's talking about woke weirdo tampon Tim, that's holding up everybody in the line? Now, I've seen people wait in lines out in the cold, out in the snow, out in the rain, out in the heat to see Donald Trump. But woke weirdo holds them up for about 30 minutes and they're already frustrated. Get this dude out of here.
Get that out of here.
Boo! Yeah. Well, guys, I think so far Trump's winning the popularity contest between the woke weirdo. I think he might have him by a good 200,000 or 300,000 cheers. So let's see. They're not excited. They're not excited to see Tampon get out the car. There's no cheers. There's no anticipation. There's no excitement. They're not sitting on the edge of their seat going, when is he going to get out the car? We just want to get a glimpse. Want to get a glimpse. Oh, no wonder. Yeah, so this is BYOF. Bring your own fans. So Tampon rolls up to the game with buses. Whole bunch of high school buses. Somehow went around and gathered some fans to make it look like he was welcome when he got there. Look at that. Wow. Democrats are the worst. Look at that. Crickets. There it is, guys. There it is. Yep. Bust in a little entourage to act like they're excited about Tim. They're probably like, okay, who are we cheering for again? What's his name? Tim who? I've never heard of him, but I'm getting paid to do this. So, all right, ready? Here he comes up. Yay, yay. Wait, what? Should we say Tim? Should we walk? What do we do? Just, never mind. Yay. Probably have no idea. So he brought his own fans, I guess. And this ain't something new because Chameleon been doing this for a while. Matter of fact, look at this up there in Pennsylvania when she stopped, just randomly. It was just randomly. She stopped at a restaurant up there, and went in. But suspiciously, a lot of people had to leave out the restaurant. And yet a whole bunch of people on buses just happened to show up. Could it be that she couldn't take the risk of the people in Pennsylvania destroying her little photo op? Could it be that? So she had to go ahead and stack the deck, create the atmosphere, because they can't go into real random atmospheres. They can't do it. Okay, so let's see how many people she brought. So let's see. She's bringing her own fans too. Look at this, guys. They kicked them out of the restaurant. You can't afford your own actors. Look at all these vans, y'all. Look at all those vans. So they can all go in the restaurant and act like they're crying and stuff when she comes in. You know what? I thought there was no hope left. I can't wait to have 8 more abortions. We need you to get in office so you can save all the women who are just standing in line, waiting to have an abortion. So there you have it. Look at those buses, those vans.
Tell us again what happened to Cremated Brothers?
They kicked us out of Cremated Brothers so that they could get the paid actors inside.
A black man. Discrimination against a black man. So they kicked this black man out of it so they could bring in their paid actors. Now, shame on her. Why ain't the media covering this? Could you imagine if Donald Trump was staging a whole bunch of stuff, paying folks, manipulating things, all of those things? You think that they would just quietly overlook that? They're upset because they know the affection and support for Donald Trump is actually legit. They hate that. They know he's a huge threat when they see him walk into an arena and everybody goes crazy. They know he's a huge threat when they see him walk into the UFC and everybody goes crazy. I know they're sitting there going, oh. They know he's a huge threat when they're riding around, especially in places maybe like Virginia, and seeing Trump signs all over the place. They're going, we in trouble. We got to do something because this just might be too big to rig. So look at all these actors.
Ridiculous.
There's all the paid actors.
All paid actors.
My God.
Look at that. Good grief.
All these actors in these vans.
We paid for everybody's food. We gave him a nice tip. And of course, when I gave him a nice tip, I said, no taxes on tip. It's all right. Don't hold it against her. She just got a little nervous, but it's a great local business. Let's keep on supporting it. And most importantly, November 5th or before, go vote. Let's go win this thing.
Yeah, let's go win this thing. So JD Vance goes to the same restaurant, and for some reason, the manager decided to not let him come in. Yeah, and so all the Trump supporters started leaving, and apparently she, had a conversation with JD. But we all know that she wasn't trying to have him come in here. She did not want that restaurant to participate in anything that might promote or support JD Vance and Donald Trump. And the people showed up without being paid. Those aren't paid actors. See, that's a real politician right there. That's a real man who can go right into an atmosphere and say, I can handle whatever is in this atmosphere, whether it's positive, negative, whether people love me, whether people hate me. I can deal with it. Same thing with Trump. I can't support a party that they have to make sure everybody around them loves them. Even if they got to manipulate it, pay folks, do things to manipulate the perception. And that's why I say Kamala's not really popular. They've created a perception that all of a sudden now she's popular. But let's get back to the woke weirdo because he got a debate coming up tomorrow, y'all. Ooh, and I can't wait. Because this guy right here, I got a feeling, is going to go in there and get busy on the woke weirdo. Tampon Tim, rumor has it, is a little scared, y'all. He concerned. Now, why would he be concerned after talking all kind of reckless stuff? Let's go back to Tampon. Yeah.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale.
Now y'all see Homer Simpson head? Y'all see him with that Homer Simpson head out there? That was back then when he had just jumped on stage and he was out there talking reckless about JD Vance, talking about what he was going to do to him and making jokes and stuff because it was far off. It was far off. The debates was far off. It was something in the distance. But now the time has come.
Had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on!
Come on!
That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
And I can't wait to see you debate the guy. Woo! Tampon was talking big back then. Come on! Yeah, I can't wait to debate the guy.
That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So,
and you got jokes?
see what I did there?
See what I did there? I got a good feeling this is going to be a brutal beatdown tomorrow night. I really do. I really think at this point with all of the baggage that tampon comes with, and he brings a lot of baggage. I don't know how he slid through the vetting process, considering the Democrats try to make sure that everything is perfect. This guy slid through the cracks. Now we got rumors out there of him having connections with China. I mean, he got all kind of stuff that J.D. Vance could just light into him on. And I know he's going to try to go ahead with a couple talking points. He's probably bring up the cats and the dogs. He's probably going to bring up J.D. Vance when he said something about, old cat ladies. But after that, what else? What else he got? That man's butt naked. This man is open and vulnerable to questions about his valor. He has questions about how his wife got pregnant, his drunk driving record. I mean, he got all kind of vulnerabilities, and I know they're sitting there going, God, dog. But the one that really gets me is the weirdo vulnerability. He's weird, man. Mannerisms and stuff, doing all kind of crap, the crazy wave, the jazz hands. He got that. That right there in itself makes him vulnerable. But let's see what my man right here has to say about him, because before we go into Chameleon, I want to hear how people feel about tampon.
He's willing to get off the couch and show up. So,
See what I did there?
We're going to be laughing them all.
I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America.
Did he just call him, wait a minute, did he call him a buffoon?
See what I did there?
Walz is a buffoon.
He is a buffoon. He reminds me of Tim Conway. Somebody like that, with that Homer Simpson head. He is a buffoon. They picked a full-blown buffoon.
I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school. He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good. I mean,
get him, Scott. Me no understand words good. That was it. That was the extent of that man's response to that question. Now, the buffoon knew the question was coming. Unbelievable. And yet, that was it. My wife always talks about me not having a good command of it. And I'm saying, well, you had good command of the English language when you was talking about J.D. Vance being on the couch and I can't wait to bait him and all of that stuff. But when you bust out those lines, all of a sudden, my grammar is horrible. So with that being said, let's see what else Scott got to say about him, because Scott don't respect him, and neither do I.
He's a buffoon. He's on a free ride for running under Harris. He gets very little press. They don't let him talk to the press for a reason. I want one thing out of this debate. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and get under his skin. He has legendary hot, short temper. A lot of governors do, but apparently he does. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and have him explain why he is denigrating J.D. Vance's story. Small town America ends up making something better out of his life, which is something we should want for every kid.
You hear that? He right now, that lady's like, Scott, no, Scott. She knows it's true. I mean, that's why they hide this dude. They're hiding both of them. I don't know how in the world they picked two of the worst candidates that you could possibly pick. But that just goes to show what's going on over there on the left. I think right now, their ability to perceive the situation is just warped and affected by either greed, power, or wokeness. And I'm saying, man, y'all make bad decisions. Y'all are really doing things that in y'all heads, you think the average American might support and like. It's fascinating to see some of their decisions. And I'm going, what? Do y'all think it's popular that y'all support little boys that can play sports with girls because they think they're a girl? You think that's popular? You think it's popular to support grown men who think they're women going into women's bathrooms? Y'all really think that? Y'all think it's popular or okay? Why do you think you're getting blasted about the border issue? How did you sit in a room and think that we could get away with importing about 11 to 12, maybe more million people in a short time frame and nobody noticed? And when they do notice, they're going to like it. Somehow we'll worry about it on the back end. On the back end, we'll convince them once they're all here that this is a good thing. And if we can't convince them of that, then we'll just blame it on Donald Trump, who wasn't even in office when all of this took place. That's what we'll do. Somehow we'll flip the script and hope that we can hit them with the Men in Black light and they just totally forget. So these are the choices that they make. Brought Homer Simpson head, tampon Tim, woke weirdo in to be the VP pick, and he's getting blasted.
Been a complete disaster in Minnesota, and what's happened is he's so good at being this folksy, nice, kind of down-to-earth guy until people get to know him and his policies. I don't know if you know this, but his old congressional district, where he played this character for several years of being kind of a folksy, ag-friendly outdoorsman.
And that's exactly what he appears to be. A character. It's like he's playing a character. Same thing with Kamala Harris. It's like she's playing a character as well. But her character is all over the place. One minute she's a Latino, next minute she's Indian, then she's black, then she's white. We don't know. We don't know what character she's playing daily. But that guy, he's playing a character as a buffoon.
He lost it in both of his gubernatorial races. In the last one, almost by 10 points. He's not well liked because once you get to know the real Tim Walz, he's like Gavin Newsom in a flannel shirt.
Look at that. Uh-oh. The woke weirdo came out. The real Tim Walz came out. Did y'all hear that? So he couldn't take being unpopular, y'all. His feelings got hurt. Now remember, the Democrats are the ones that's bringing moral character back to the White House and all of that stuff. And as he's walking, maybe he could blame it on Tourette's or something like that, or Twitch. But somebody said Trump 2024, baby. And somehow, he flipped in the bird. Is that the bird I'm looking at? Let's get a close-up. Oh, there it is. It's the bird. I know the bird when I see it. The bird is a bird, is a bird, is a bird, is a bird, bird, is a bird, is a bird. So he flipped that young man the bird. Now, do you think that guy has the temperament? You think that guy has the temperament that if Kamala goes down, he can step in and deal with major world issues? Got connections with China that we don't know nothing about. Just the fact that he snatched his son up on the stage that one time, that was kind of like the craze coming out right there. He leaked a little bit of the craziness out as soon as he did that. I was like, what? Why are you snatching like that? First of all, young man crying over there. Next scene, you see Tim snatch, get over here. I think that's the real Tim coming out. So he flips that guy the bird. Now, just think about what would happen if Donald Trump flipped some people yelling at him the bird. This guy right here, this just goes to show he cares about nobody, that he has no moral character. The fact that he would flip somebody the bird, I'm not hearing nothing come out of any of the fake news networks that's destroying this guy about the bird. So I'm hoping that J.D. Vance brings that bird up tomorrow. I hope he comes with a cage with the bird in it. I caught this yesterday on Saturday when the woke weirdo was at the game. He released the bird, but I got it. I got the bird right here. I hope he brings the bird tomorrow night and reveals to everybody that this man flipped the bird. Yeah, it came out. He don't know where it's at. He's like, oh, shoot, I wasn't supposed to release the bird. Now the bird's on the loose. There it is for everybody to see.
Vice President nominee Tim Walz's recent public appearances have been downright bizarre.
Yeah.
Tim Walz is putting on an over
What is that? What is that? What? The woke weirdo. What is he doing? He done been to China just a little too much.
Performance, flailing his arms and kicking his legs.
Look at the kick.
Whenever.
Oh. I know they sitting there looking over out of the corner of their eye like, oh shoot, what is going on over here? We got us a crazy one. Everybody's been there. Where you messed around and sat next to somebody who's crazy on a bus or something, on a train, sitting in a movie and somebody start doing crazy stuff and you like, okay, what's going on over there? So the woke weirdo just threw a bootleg, nasty, tight karate kick or something. Couldn't even get the leg up. Let's see it again.
On an over-the-top performance, flailing his arms and kicking his legs. Whenever.
That dude's nuts. And they know it. They're probably going, oh God, how do we pick this dude? Did he just kick? Did he kick? He did, didn't he? He kicked? Oh God, no, he didn't. So that dude threw I gotta see it one more time. That is the worst kick.
Vice President nominee Tim
Give me a little-
Walz's recent
that right
public
there.
appearances have been downright bizarre.
I'm good right there with just that kick. That'll take me home. That's enough to satisfy me for the rest of the night with that kick.
Tim Walz is putting
Here
on
it is.
an
It's coming.
over-the-top
So the bow
performance,
first,
flailing his
then the
arms and
judo
kicking his
kick.
legs whenever he's on stage. These strange public performances have even the most die-hard Democrats turning their back on the VP pick in the lead-up to the November election.
See, and I know how it is. When you got somebody you don't know what they're capable of doing at any given second, and you're in a professional atmosphere where you're going, okay, we got to make sure that this person don't embarrass us or do anything crazy. And you can't even focus. You can't even get relaxed because you're worried about what this person might say, what this person might do. I mean, you're just going, man, they're capable of doing pretty much anything. That's what they picked. That's what Tim Walz is. He is a walking time bomb. And I know every time they release him, they're going, oh, man, we don't know. He's another version of like Joe Biden, where they would release Joe and it's like, we don't know what he's going to say, what he's going to do. But Joe was special. You know, he's losing. Now they got him another one. They exchanged one problem that they had to look over and look after the whole time for another one. So now they got two, really. Kamala Harris is one as well. But they at least could put her on a script and they just got to worry about a word salad. This guy, you got to worry about doing stuff like that and waving all crazy with the jazz hands, you know, and kicking. You got to worry about stuff like that with him.
And in addition to bizarre speeches, Tim Walz's body movements are being put under the spotlight.
It's tampons. Hey, where are the tampons? How's everyone? Hi, Chi. Hi. Get out of the way, wife. You disgust me. Look at that. And there it is. Y'all see that wrist? Somebody go get me a jack so I could jack that wrist up. Bring it back up, Tim. The wrist right there, bro. There's boom. Up. Somebody go get me a lift. Some inflation. Bring it back. Get me a cast so I can cast it up because it's broke. So that wrist right there, he got the double whammy. Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm going to get it for these jokes. I know, but I don't care. I don't care. It's worth the laughs. It's worth the laughs. So there he is right there. Hi. Oh, that wrist right there have seen better days. Oh, man. Poor Timothy.
Meanwhile.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Minnesota.
Now.
Wait, isn't he the governor of Minnesota? Now, you got to understand that, Kamala Harris just went down to the border talking about how she's going to be tough on immigration and stuff. Okay, she's going to be tough on it now. Only to have a VP that did what? What's this?
Now has its first ever Somali woman officer and permanent resident, which is a non-citizen.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Oh.
I had to bring out Apollo. Did y'all hear what that man just said? Minnesota has what? The wrist again. Okay. All right, let me leave Tim alone on that wrist. There it is.
Meanwhile.
Okay.
The department now has its first ever Somali woman officer and permanent resident, which is a non-citizen.
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Oh.
Minneapolis police swear in the first Somalian woman, non-citizen, and joyful graduation. Here it is, guys.
Farah is a non-citizen. Chief Brian O'Hara says she was able to join the force due to a recent law change.
Yep, that's how I feel. That is exactly how we feel. So y'all see that? That's what the woke weirdos doing out there, and in Minnesota. So now people who aren't even citizens are police officers, and people who aren't citizens could get licenses out there. And he's not radical. No, he's not extreme at all. Yeah. Do you think that guy's going to be Chameleon? I support you with your strong approach towards the border now. Yeah, I think we should tighten things up. Matter of fact, let me start with my own state. No more licenses for illegals. We're no longer a sanctuary state either. We're not. I'm changing that mess all the way up. And if you're not an American citizen, well, next now you ain't gonna become no police officer. You think that Tim's gonna change all that around? Now you got to understand. Kamala probably supports and thinks just like he does when it comes down to immigration, but she can't tell everybody that. See, and they wouldn't have picked a guy who didn't agree with her on the whole immigration policy thing. They're both on one accord, trust me. Now, whether somebody ask him about this or not is the question. Hopefully J.D. Vance will bring that up. Hopefully he'll bring up all kind of things that makes this dude unqualified, like the tampons in the bathroom, or the sanctuary city for young boys or girls who want to come and have procedures done to them, things like that, or the unlimited abortion that he has there in his city, in his state. Maybe JD could bring that up since the media is not asking those questions. Maybe JD might even bring up the fact that he let his police station be overran and taken over during Black Lives Matter. Maybe JD Vance will bring up all of that and watch Homer head explode. That guy ain't gonna have no answers for any of this stuff. And then he lets people who aren't even citizens become police officers.
It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We can't afford 4 more years of this.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So true. So the woke weirdo got out there talking about we can't afford 4 more years, not realizing that right now your girl is in office. You are so right. We can't afford 4 more years of that garbage. Speaking of his girl, let's get to Kamala Harris and her lame attempt to go down to the border and convince us now, guys, that she's about to be tough on the border. Now, some nerve. I mean, she really has some nerve to even try to pull this off. That just goes to show how boldly corrupt and stupid the Democrat Party is. I mean, she knows that everybody knows that Joe Biden and her are responsible for the border. And they don't care. They allowed all this mess to happen. And now all of a sudden, she decides at the last second, let me go down there and see if I could trick, because she ain't got to worry about tricking her stupid voters, because they're going to vote for her regardless. They're probably okay with the influx of illegal immigrants. But she must be trying to appeal to maybe some moderates, people in the middle, or even folks that were common sense Democrats that decided, man, I'm not okay with the Democrats and how they've treated this border for the last 4 years. Therefore, I'm starting to sway back over to the right. So now she's trying to drag them back in with the worst lame see-through attempt. This is about as bad as Joe Biden deciding to go down there when Trump went. Or Joe Biden finally having to come down here to Ohio. When he came down here to Ohio, East Palestine, to try to go ahead and say, well, look, I did it a year and something later. They are all about the show. And it's so obvious that I can't believe people don't see through it. So here she is back in the day, but here she is recently. Let's do a compare and contrast. So she finally made it for nothing. That's back in the day.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America. He contrived a national crisis around his big distraction.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for any nation, including ours.
Well, look at that secure border right there. I mean, this is gaslighting at its best. They were so bold. They would have mucus come out to the mic and would just straight up say, the border is secure. The men and women on that border is working hard every day, and this and that. They would have Democrats get up here and say the border's fine. She got up there and said it's fine. Joe Biden said it's fine. And I'm sitting there saying, how could it be fine when millions, and this was before they changed it up to where everybody could just come straight in through the port of entry. Look at this. These folks going under barbed wire.
To ensure that we have a secure border. And that is what we are doing.
The border's secure, they've said. It's insane. This entire time, Democrats have been touting this humanitarian approach to immigration. They're just refugees. It's a refugee crisis. How absolutely insane. They've made it sound as if they're on the right side of history. They're the compassionate ones with a righteous approach to immigration. But all the while, they've turned a blind eye to the criminal element.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of the criminal element, look at this, guys.
Compassionate ones with a righteous approach to immigration. But all the while, they've turned a blind eye to the criminal elements pouring over the border. And in the process,
People are just waiting for a chance to be able to contribute fully. They become Americans before a lot of Americans become Americans.
We have to surge. We have to surge to the border.
Now, with all of this evidence, she's still coming out here telling everybody that Donald Trump and the Republicans are responsible for this. With all of this evidence, now looking at that, if I didn't know better, and I just beamed in from some other country or out of space or whatever, and I saw that, I would sit back and look at this and say, wow, that looks like a war zone. That looks like there are people from another country invading America. Where's the military? I would be asking, like, why aren't they, putting a cap in these people? Why aren't they arresting these people? Why aren't they sitting back, putting people up on towers, man, posted up going, if I even see something move in the bushes? Why aren't they doing that? Because that's what it looks like. There's no way in the world you can tell me that all of this coming across the border during his whole 3.5, 4 years now was against, our will. We couldn't stop it. There was nothing we could do. Look at that. These people were desperate. They're coming. They didn't give the green light to Border Patrol to do nothing because they tied them up with, processing these people. They didn't give the green light to these soldiers right here because they know if one of these soldiers would have went with some live rounds on these people who obviously was aggressively pushing past, we don't know if terrorists was in there. We don't know who was pushing past them. But yet, I guarantee you, if they would have even took the butt of the gun and popped one of them in their face, they would be court-martialed. For touching one of their precious illegal immigrants. So this right here looks like a crime against the country. The fact that our government allowed this stuff to take place while saying things like we're listening to him say.
We have
Look at her.
a secure border.
Does that look secure?
The border is secure.
Look at that.
The border is closed, and that's what we're focused on.
11 million people living in the shadows, I believe they're already Americans.
This one gets up all under my skin. All up on my, 11 million people living in shadow. I believe they're already American. So they're telling their motive. They want these people to become American citizens. Yeah. So they're okay with them pushing past our military, running past our Border Patrol. They're okay with all of that. Because the end game is make them become citizens. They don't care where these people go into the country, what they do to people when they get here, what these people's backgrounds are, how dangerous these people can be. And yet now they're telling us that they're going to be tough on the border. Now that looks like a national emergency, meaning this. Joe, if he was really serious, first of all, he would have kept Trump stuff in place. But secondly, he would have been like, whoa. We don't know who's coming across this border. This is a national security issue. Lock the whole border down. Let everybody know. Don't even think about coming across this border. If you do, if we catch you coming and we warn you and tell you to go back and you don't heed the warning, we will fire on you. Trust me. Those folks, including the cartel, would all go, oh boy, these cats are serious now. Something done changed. But nope. Nah, they know that they can get away with coming across this border, especially with them out there saying things like, they're already American citizens. They're more American than many Americans. You gotta search the border. They should all be brought up on charges. And that ain't even the worst of it. I'm about to let y'all know it gets worse.
Welcome, my fellow Americans. First and foremost, I want to thank you for choosing us, believing that America is worthy of your aspirations.
Do not come.
Look at that.
Do not come.
That was her first lame effort when she got muscled into pretending she was going down there to find out the root causes of the border issues and stuff. Like, all she had to do was look at herself. All she had to do was go right down the hall into Creepy's office. They all know what was going on. Go down there and just open the door. I found it. It's mucus. This is the cause, the mucus right here. So now here she is giving a lame effort. Now, they should play this clip too, to let everybody know just how authoritative she is. Yeah, man. I mean, her very presence and the words that she say is taken seriously, y'all. Seriously, look at her, telling these folks not to come. Let's see if they obeyed her.
The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border.
Just like that. Video after video of these people coming across rivers, jumping over walls, cutting barbed wire, all of that stuff. Coming in caravans, coming with Biden-Harris shirts on. Joe Biden was coming to America for asylum. All of that. And now she got the nerve to go out there and try to say that, nah, man, I'm going to be tough on the border. And it was Donald Trump who allowed this to get out of hand. If you're the president and you see a catastrophe like that, you don't care nothing about, no asylum. You don't care nothing about Congress needing to pass whatever legislation. You should say, man, until y'all get y'all crap together, I am signing an executive order shutting down the border completely. Now, y'all can tittle about, but not another person is coming across this border illegally, period. And then they want to belittle our intelligence to try to make us think all of these millions of folks coming across our border from overseas are all coming here for asylum. They try to belittle our intelligence and just open up asylum to mean pretty much anything. Climate change, asylum from a climate change.
Years later.
Stay off the concrete, back over here. Off the concrete, back over here, please. Stay off the concrete over there, back over here.
So I've just come from visiting the border and...
For nothing. That's what she should have said. I just come from visiting the border for a photo op.
In the port of entry in Douglas. I spoke with dedicated agents from Border Patrol and customs officers who every day see the overflow of commercial traffic through the port.
She disgusts me, man. She disgusts me. Like, if I was those two agents, I would barely be able to even talk to her. I mean, you probably got to try to be nice and polite and stuff like that. Welcome, Madam Vice President. Any questions you want to know about the border you destroyed? And any questions you want to know? Borders are, shouldn't you know this? Yeah. See, these are things that I would say, hey, listen, you were in charge over the border for like, what, the last 3 years? 3 years, somewhere around there? You never even called us. All of the buzz in the atmosphere about what was going on down in that border, and you never even picked up the phone and said, hey, look, man, I'm watching TV, and I see a horde of people coming. I'm watching TV, and I'm hearing Democrat politicians on here letting us have it because of all of the increased illegal immigrants. Hey, I'm watching TV, and I see that the numbers are going up higher and higher and higher. What's going on down there? Do you need anything? What's the procedure? Did you ever even have a meeting with mucus? Did you ever say mucus? Why do we have very relaxed asylum rules now? What is this app you have, mucus, that allows them to apply and schedule their asylum appointment now? Why do we have that? Doesn't it seem like we're making it more convenient for these people to come? Doesn't it seem like we're encouraging them to come, mucus? Huh? I mean, you think she ever did that? But now all of a sudden she's asking questions. She already knows the answers. Yeah, they're the ones that did all of this. That's why if I was a Border Patrol agent, I would have a hard time even talking to her. While she pretend to ask questions like she don't know what's going on. So what's going on now? Do you need something I would be sitting there the whole time with my Uncle Ron's face, man. You asking if you need something, huh? Uh-huh. Say you just found out that the border been busted open like this, huh? Uh-huh. Donald Trump did it, you say. Mm-hmm. Whole time.
These men and women who work there and at other places along our southern border help keep our nation secure. And they need more...
Shut up. Shut up. Burns me up. You put them in danger. You put us in danger. You make their jobs harder. You allowed folks to demonize them about some thing on horsebacks, whipping folks from Haiti. I think you even jabbed with that as well. Now you're talking about the brave men and women are. You're handicapping them from doing their job and keeping us safe. And you're talking about the brave men and women. I guarantee you most of them don't have any respect for her or Biden. Here you are. I want y'all to keep our border safe. Make sure no fentanyl and drug trafficking is going on, and no human trafficking is going on. But I want you also to all congregate at a port of entry and process all of these precious illegal immigrants. Well, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to be patrolling the border? Yeah, but these folks are more important right now. Why? Well, we're about to find out why.
Resources to do their jobs, which is why we have and are in the process of investing $500 million to modernize and expand the port of entry here in Douglas.
To expand the port of entry. Why? Why are you modernizing it? You don't need to do any of that to the port of entry. There shouldn't be a port of entry. The port of entry should be closed. Right now, in this lazy, raggedy response and speech, she's letting us know that they have no intentions on closing the border. What does expanding the port of entry have to do with making sure illegal immigration stops? Because the goal is not to stop it, it's to assist it, make it more streamlined and proficient. So my first question would be, what do you mean? Port of entry and we're expanding it. It's for more to come? When you expand something, that sends the message to everybody, business is open, we're growing. When you start building all of these little places for them to stay in and shelters, that's like saying, look at all these hotel rooms we're building for you. Business is open. Trump starts shutting them down to let these people know, don't be thinking you're coming over here and you're going to be posted up in these bad boys and waiting for your day of asylum or release into our interior. And yet these fools are talking about expanding it. What else she's talking about?
And why last December I helped raise the rate of overtime pay for border agents, and also why I strongly supported the comprehensive border security bill. Written last year, as you know, by a bipartisan group of senators, including one of the most conservative members of the United States.
Two of the most conservative dummies in the United States. I cannot stand the fact that those Republicans helped out with that raggedy behind bill that did nothing but made it easier for these folks to come here. Because this is what they're using now. Some dummies allowed themselves now to be a talking point. It was a bipartisan bill. But notice she ain't talking about the bill that was passed in the House. She's talking about that bill that would have done nothing.
Congress. That bill would have hired 1,500 more border agents.
To process more illegal immigrants coming in. See, these are the things that should be thrown out at her, but she won't do a real interview. Let her come to Cav's Corner. I'll be like, yeah, that sounds good and all, but what are you going to do with all of that extra money that you want, all of those extra agents? Are you going to use them to shut down anybody coming across, or are you going to use them to make sure you process them faster? That's exactly what they're talking about when they say more resources. The resources are not to stop illegal immigration. It is to assist it.
And officers. It would have paid for 100 inspection machines to detect fentanyl that is killing tens of thousands of Americans every year.
The sad part is their policies are killing tens and thousands of Americans every year. While all of our border patrol is tied up at the point of entry, do you know how many gotaways are coming? Probably 2 or 3 million easily, maybe more. Yeah, not to mention drug deals and stuff, drug dealers bringing all that mess across. I mean, they pretty much got free reign to run across the border because every single day our border patrol is tied up either rescuing folks or messing around processing folks. And here she is talking about fentanyl every day. I don't know what audience she's in front of because they're cheering. I'm sure they made sure she went and gave her speech in front of a controlled audience. I'm sure. Because if she was in front of a random audience, I'm sure everybody would be going, boo.
It would have allowed us to more quickly and effectively remove those who come here illegally.
And then let them come right back.
And it would have increased the number of immigration judges and asylum officers.
To process them faster.
It was the strongest border security bill we have seen in decades.
Which was garbage and weak. If that's strong, I'm sitting there going, what are you talking about? That's strongest, our border patrol that lets 5,000 to 6,000 people come in a day. That's why they can't win. They cannot win, or else we're done. You think this woman's going to stop that? Everything she's talking about, she's really hiding the real goal and agenda. The real goal is to keep it moving, keep them coming, and disguise it as legal by funneling them all through the port of entry and saying, look, they're coming the right way. They're not jumping over fences anymore. They're not going through rivers. Now we got enough border patrol agents to help process them. We got enough judges to go ahead and hear their thing. And then we also want to give all of them that are already here asylum and destroy the whole country. Change the whole demographics of the country forever. Don't she realize Rome fell because of this very thing? Democrats, man, they just don't learn.
It was endorsed by the Border Patrol Union, and it should be in effect today, producing results in real time right now for our country. But Donald Trump tanked it.
The fact that she even can say that with a straight face and think that people believe it, unbelievable. That shows, number one, how evil she is and diabolical she is. But then how she also thinks about the intelligence of American citizens. How she views her voters. I mean, who are the people in there clapping for this mess? Do they actually believe Donald Trump is responsible for that border?
He picked up the phone and called some friends in Congress and said, stop the bill. Because you see, he prefers to run on a problem instead of fixing it.
No, he prefers to not allow the problem to get worse because y'all pass a raggedy bill that won't solve the problem. Just so y'all can say, look, we're doing stuff. And not to mention, that bill started getting thrown out there towards the later end. Now, what about all in the beginning? What about day one when Joe got up there? Search the border. As soon as he got inaugurated, here they come. Yeah, that went on for like 2 years before y'all even came up with the bill. And y'all did nothing. Just sat back, watched it, demonized everybody, they criticized it, and then had the nerve to come out lying to us, constantly saying that the border was secure. But nobody's really going hard on her. See, that's the one thing about when Trump debated her. Man, he could have destroyed her on that border. He didn't go hard enough on her. See, all the things that I'm talking about and everything that I'm thinking of, he should have been dropping that on her. She wouldn't have been able to respond to that. The fact that he could have just asked her, y'all remove all of my policies day one. Why'd you do that? My policies would have did this, and that. Why'd you do that? Why is it that when I left, border crossing was here? When y'all came in, it went straight up. What was the cause of that? What made it go up? Why did you only go down there one time and did nothing? What happened after you said don't come? Did they stop? Did they go back? They said, ay, Kamala Harris said don't come. We gotta go back, man. Adios. Or did they keep coming? These are all kind of questions that she would not even know how to handle. What were the results of you going down there supposedly looking for the source of the immigration influx? Did you come to a conclusion? What happened? What did you discover?
A problem. And the American people deserve a president who cares more about border security than playing political games and their personal political future.
Man, I'm telling you right now, if I was in that audience, I would be running because I'm afraid of lightning striking her. Can you believe that? American people deserves a president, but people aren't buying it though. They're not buying it. So here she is talking about playing with their future as they have been playing with Americans' future this whole time. Whole time, man. Whole time. So many lives lost through fentanyl, so many lives lost through crime, whether it be purposeful or accidental. So many folks even impacted by crime, whether it be assault, whether it be, something, in nature, all of it. Whether you be impacted by your taxes or jobs being taken, your kids being, sent home because they got to stuff illegal immigrants in there, and, your neighborhoods being, compromised and crowded. All of these effects. And that woman talking about, That America deserves a president, and if people are dumb enough to vote her back in, you think she's going to reverse that mess? She will immediately try to make it appear that illegal immigration is justified by simply saying we're going to add more resources to make it look like it's legal. Look, we're doing it the right way. Now all of a sudden, we're processing all these people. We don't have a lot of illegal crossings taking place because we still are dumb enough to believe that they're all coming here for asylum. See, that's their excuse. They're all coming for asylum. And we all know they're not. We all know that's an excuse that they created to justify allowing these people to come here. And once we get, 60, 70 million, we don't know the number that they got capped in their head. Maybe they don't even have a number. But at some point, they're going to go, all right, now that we got enough to change the demographics of America, we'll go ahead and give them all amnesty.
No love for me or Republicans for Kamala Harris today. In fact, I think the Trump campaign line today ought to be arsonist returns to scene of crime.
Bam! Arsonist returns to the scene of the crime. Thank you, Scott. That's why Joe didn't want to go down there either. Yeah, Mucus didn't want to go down there. None of them want to go down there because they know they're the ones that started the fire. They're the ones that laid that doo-doo pie. They're the ones, the puppy that I'm still training right now, Nala, yeah, she still has accidents here or there. And I can always tell when she done hid something. And she stay away from that area. She stay away from that area. Yeah, when I call her, she don't come out from under the bed. Then when I say, come over here, I want you to take a look at something. You think she comes over like, what is that? What the crap? Who laid that? It was a gizmo? Where'd that come from? She immediately says, let me go the opposite direction of the crime scene. I laid those doodle balls right on over there. I dropped that tinkle in the corner. And I don't want to see it because I know that you're going to hold me accountable for it. That's why they haven't been down there. And Scott's right. Sitting back talking about some, I'm going down there and, the brave men and women. All she went down there to do is look at her crime.
I mean, look at the last 3.5 years. We've got the borders effectively open, people flowing across. ICE today released information that there are 13,000 non-citizens convicted of homicide and almost 16,000 non-citizens convicted of some kind of sexual crime who are in the country right now.
Right now. Could be right next door to you. Could be working in the neighborhood that you are in. Could be working on some houses, taking American jobs while they're working and building houses and stuff all over the place. Now, these two idiots know that he's right. Even though Van Jones is sitting there just shaking his head side to side, he knows that this dude is dead on. He's so true. And nobody in the world is buying that Kamala Harris went down there because she's really concerned about the border. She's concerned about her poll numbers. That's what she's concerned about. But hey, Scott, beat their ears in.
Only because we're in the shadow of an election is Kamala Harris trying to rush and pay some lip service to this issue as a tactical matter. Anderson, I don't think Harris should be trying to elevate this issue because this is the best ground from which Donald Trump has to fight. So no, I think
there it is. That she should be going the opposite. Lead everybody away from the crime. See, that would be like Nala going right over to the doo-doo for no reason. I wake up, she's laying right next to it. Sitting there like, hey, good morning. Immediately I would go, you just led me straight to the doo-doo. I mean, I don't even respect you anymore. I thought you would at least been hiding. You bold enough to go right over there to it? I would almost be concerned if she really did it. I'd be like, wait a minute, something's up. Why are you over there next to it? Maybe she didn't do it. There's not that breaks all common sense. Why would you do that? And Kamala decides, I'm going right down there. Right next to it. There it is. I'm looking at stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. So this the wall that Trump was building? The vanity project that I'm standing in front of that I also said that it was in my advertisement campaign too? Oh, okay, that's cool. So you mean to tell me these people just coming across? How many people coming? That's crazy. You know what, man? I know y'all work so hard. Anything she would say to me would belittle my intelligence if I worked down there on the border. I'd be sitting there the whole time looking at her like this, side-eye, as she sit back and try to pretend interested and concerned. What? You guys are doing a great job. I mean, I respect your work. Now you're going, whole time. Dude's elbowing me. Come on, Kev, man. Keep it together, man. Don't say, hey, dude, straighten up, huh? What? Hey, man, I'm good, man. Oh, I'm cool. I mean, I'm just not feeling it for real, though, man. Yeah, that's how it would be the whole time.
I think the Harris campaign is making a tactical mistake, and I think they have very little to say that the American people are going to buy on this. Anderson, it's worse than that. It's not that it took them too long. It's that they actively worked to undo everything Donald Trump had done during his time in office. On the first day, they rescinded all of Donald Trump's border executive orders, the flood.
So they were proactive in breaking the border. That's what he's saying. And yet she got a nerve to go down there and try to blame Trump. So let me understand. They weren't just passive. They were proactive. They did things to open up the floodgates. They were the Trojan horse. Trump had all these wonderful things in place. They come in, get rid of all of that. That, understand too, guys, that's on top of them prior to removing all of those. Getting on TV, talking about some surge the border. You got to surge. If coming for asylum, then as soon as they get in, they make it even easier for them to surge the border. So you get rid of all of that. You make it nice and comfy for these folks to come. Nice and comfy. So they were aggressive? That's what you're telling me, Scott?
Gates open. All these people come rushing across. Then it becomes a political problem. And now at the end of the election, they want to blame it on Donald Trump. For her entire career, she has wanted a more permissive immigration structure. When she ran for president before, she wanted to decriminalize.
Those were her values.
In her heart of hearts, she wants a more liberal, permissive immigration structure. And in his heart of hearts, Donald Trump wants to crack down on the border. That's why when you look at the CNN polling this week, Trump is far more trusted on immigration than Harris. That is not going to change because of this visit today or anything she says today. The die is cast on this issue. If I were her, I'd want to bury this issue, not make it more prominent. But hey, if she wants to have border events, I think Republicans will rejoice because it'll increase the prominence of this issue for the last month of the campaign.
Yep, she's picked a horrific time to try to go down there as a last-minute Hail Mary to try to win over some folks who say, man, y'all destroyed this mess. We're mad because I'm sitting there looking at all these illegal immigrants in our neighborhood. And I know the internal polling is killing her. And she knows it. And I guess she just decided to say, I'm going to go ahead and try to catch a bunch of dummies slipping. Because you got to be a 100% dummy. I ain't talking about the ones that's already dumb. I'm talking about you in dumb limbo. You in dumb limbo. See, you're kind of in dumb limbo. You're like, I could go to the whole dumb side, but then I could, go to the common sense side. And you let her come out with that stunt and convince you to go to the dumb side? You deserve it. Yeah, we've lost you to the dumb side if you go, well, there it is. It shows right there that she's really concerned about that border, and I guess it was Donald Trump's fault. I'm voting for Harris. I'm sure she's going to shut that mess down.
The vice president has a long history, a well-documented history of really being an ally to these immigrant communities. She has 2 chapters in her book, I Say We Fight and We Are Better Than This, where she really makes a robust case for undocumented immigrants during the Trump administration. She talked about a climate of fear. She dismissed the border wall as ineffective and a waste of resources. And even her guest at the joint session of Congress was a DACA recipient, was a dreamer. And so for her to go down there and characterize herself as tough on the border.
It's bullshit. That's what you're saying, intelligent black lady. I love it. I love it. Bullshit. That's what it is. She's belittling our intelligence. So nobody's asking her these questions. All the softball interviews that she has gone on, they took it so light on her. They never dove into all the things that she said. All the little things that she did to let us know that these are my values. I believe that border should be open. They didn't ask her about how she tried to pretend that ICE was a KKK, to kind of compare them to the KKK. Never asked her about that. Yeah, they never asked her about all the things that this lady is saying she has been talking about for a long time, but now all of a sudden she's changed. I would just simply ask her, what is your idea of a secure border? Just something simple like that. What is your idea of a secure border? Does it include no more illegal immigrants coming here, whether it be for asylum or not, because we're closed? Nobody can come in because we're full. We're at capacity. Or does it mean keep letting them come in for asylum and processing them? Something that simple.
to me, it isn't consistent with a lot of the policy positions that she previously has espoused.
In San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens.
Uh-oh. Now we got somebody under oath about to reveal something that was going on under the Biden-Harris administration. Now we all had our suspicions, y'all, that they purposefully broke that border. Now I'm wondering if this little testimony right here is going to get any traction on CNN, MSNBC. Do you think maybe the next time a reporter randomly gets a chance to ask Kamala Harris some questions, you think maybe they could ask her about these reports right here, this testimony?
These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year.
What could be the factor? They found out that the borders was easier to cross. So understand, guys, this man knows. He's given a sworn testimony. So now they're increasing the risk for Americans because of their policies. But it gets worse, though. See, it would be one thing if they just did stupid stuff. Remember, I always tell you, Democrats aren't dumb. When their policies come across as dumb, and people go, man, these people are dumb. No, they're diabolical. See, they pretend to be dumb. Either they try to disguise it as incompetence or humanitarian. Our hearts are open. We got to watch out for these people. We're doing things that our country was founded on. That's why we're doing it. And people need saving. So they either disguise it as that or complete incompetence and ignorance. But it's none of that. It's I'm evil. I'm diabolical. And he's about to reveal how diabolical they are.
These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or...
There it is. That lets me know you knew that you were doing something you shouldn't do. You know, people ask, well, Joe, what's the age of accountability for kids? Well, I think it's when you do something and you're smart enough to cover it up. You're sitting back going, oh, crap. I broke this. My mama told me don't be playing with it in the first place. I'm going to hide this underneath the couch. You knew exactly what you were doing. That's why I be spanking little Nala's butt. When I first got her, she didn't know pooping and peeing in the house was wrong. She would pee or poop like what? I don't see what the problem is. Once I established that this is wrong, what did she start doing? Hiding under the bed. Doing stuff like that, trying to go in a corner, hoping I don't spot it. She's now covering it up. That means you know what you're doing is wrong. These folks said, look, don't let anybody know, okay? All right, don't report it. Now, that right there is treason. You're sitting back, putting us in danger, and then saying, don't tell nobody. But no media coverage of this. This guy should be brought on every network to the point where it makes Kamala and Creepy have to come out and explain why they told them. Who told him this? Was it Mucus? Can somebody go up the chain of command and say, okay, thank you for letting us know they're doing this? Who exactly gave that order? Let's continue.
Or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. Fentanyl is another issue.
Treason.
The San Diego area sees between 80 and 90% of the methamphetamine and fentanyl seizures annually for our entire country. With little enforcement at the border, these drugs were coming through in mass. During my last year in San Diego, the price for a single pill of fentanyl, for example, went from $10 to 25 cents. To make matters worse, during 2022 and 23, I had to shut down San Diego traffic checkpoints, which are critical for drug interdiction, because the resources had been diverted to the process and release mission.
Oh, resources have been diverted to the process, checkpoint, I guess. Now, you see the strategy that they used? We need more resources, because all of our precious illegal immigrants that are all just coming here for asylum needs to be processed in. And unfortunately, we're going to use all of our agents to go ahead and attend to that while all this fentanyl is coming across to the point where they said, we ain't even got to sell it that much now. Yeah, I mean, we got a surplus. Yeah, the price, we can go ahead and lower the price. But the key point of this testimony is this man is telling us that We got folks that came across the country, into our country, that are dangerous, potential terrorists. They knew about it and told them to not report it. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they want to report that we got terrorists coming across? Because it will reflect on them. It will show that you guys care more about bringing illegal immigrants in than you do protecting American citizens. So don't tell nobody. Treason, man. Straight treason. This right here burns me up, man. Some heads need to roll for this. But it gets worse.
The large numbers also had and still have a negative impact on the San Diego community. I had to release illegal aliens by the hundreds each day into communities who could not support them. To quiet the problem, 2 flights a week were provided from San Diego to Texas. These flights simply brought aliens that would have been released in San Diego over to Texas.
To quiet the problem. You see them working behind the scenes to facilitate this? They actively participated in this. They strategized. They said, okay, what you getting over? Okay, see what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and have these planes go ahead and relieve you of some of these folks by flying them to Texas. Man, Texas should have been like, we'll shoot that plane down before we let it land. Keep it moving. Man, these folks are evil and diabolical. And if we win back the House, they need to find out who did this. They need to go ahead and say, hey man, we bring you up on some charges. So now they're flying folks around to try to cover up the influx in San Diego. And yet they get mad when Texas ship a couple of them up to New York or Chicago.
Each flight cost approximately $150,000. This was the administration's way to try and quiet the border-wide crisis.
ICE has the administration's way to try to quiet the border crossing crisis. That means they were diabolical in doing this. Nobody's asking Kamala about this testimony. The other day we heard a gentleman testify that your administration was doing all of these things. Is that true? And if so, why didn't you know about it? What did you do when you found out about it? Were you okay with it? Did you bring it to Creepy's attention, Borders are? And to go ahead and add a little icing on the cake, look at these numbers, y'all. I wonder if Kamala is going to come out and address these right here. Because remember, guys, she's still in office.
Something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime.
Now wait, is this the same ICE that is being compared to the KKK? Is that ICE? So how do you think ICE is going to find 425,000 people? I mean, these are people who are supposed to be sent out, especially considering that they're most likely in sanctuary cities too, that don't cooperate with ICE. So there you go. Blue states, blue cities who are okay with sanctuary status. So now we got all of these people. We got convicted, 13,000 of them convicted of homicide, y'all. So we got 13,000 murderers running around the country. They imported murderers and released them into our interior.
Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault.
So now the women better go ahead and have a chaperone when they're walking around outside. They go for a little jog. You know, now you let your kids out to play in the playground. You got to be watching them, especially if you're in one of those asshole ran Democrat cities, sanctuary status. You got 15,000 of them running around somewhere. There you go. Nobody asking Chameleon about this? Under your watch, this happened. Is it Trump's fault? See, this is such a big problem. It shouldn't even matter what Trump got to say. It shouldn't even matter what Congress got to say. See, if you was about it, if you was really trying to protect America from danger, You'd be like, man, I ain't got time to wait on Congress like Trump did. I ain't got time to be fiddling around with you guys playing politics. I'm shutting it down. Executive order. Close the border, period. And ICE, do what you do. Go in and get all of these folks up out of here. But nope. But now it's a major problem. Now ICE got to go and track down all of these people. Now that's relatively a small percentage of what, 11, 12 million that y'all done let in? That we know of. See, these are the ones we know of. Unbelievable.
Who are roaming the country right now on ICE's non-detained docket. It doesn't stop there. Those are convictions. The ICE director also says there are currently just under 1,900 non-citizens on the non-detained docket who have pending homicide charges who are roaming the country, and another...
You think they're going to show up? Pending homicide charges. There you go. Let me go ahead in the court and after I'm here for my homicide charges case, hopefully I got a good public defender. Nope. They're going to run until they get caught, and probably get caught because they do something to get caught. Charges. Treason. This is full-blown treason, man. And, you know, I'm sad to say it, but I got a feeling the majority of all the people who orchestrated this will probably get away with it. I mean, man.
There are 4,250 non-citizens who have pending assault charges who are roaming the country on the non-detained docket.
Been in your family for...
So guys, I want to finish this, but I got about 8 minutes and 38 seconds left of it. You know what? Let's try to get through it.
More than 100 years.
128.
The rancher John Ladd says the Biden-Harris administration should never have ended Trump's restrictive border policies.
And Trump had it figured out.
Ladd took us to a border fence constructed during the Trump administration, showing us where smugglers have cut it repeatedly. He's skeptical of Harris's promise to secure the border.
That's baloney. That's an absolute lie.
Baloney. Absolute lie. See, this is the effect of her trying to go down there and belittle all of our intelligence. It's an insult. That's what it is. It's a full-blown insult. It makes her look even more diabolical, more fake and phony. I'm sitting there going, you got the nerve to take your nasty, stinking butt. That makes me despise you even more, if that's possible. That nasty, stinking butt down to that border and really pretend that you care now. And you are trying to solve it. And then trying to talk about Trump's not concerned over it. No, that's not. And he's not playing politics over it. And I'm going, you dirty, nasty thing, you. Nobody's buying it. Let's see what the people on the street got to say about her little visit.
He doesn't care about the border.
Look, I stood with President Trump when he actually went to the border, to areas that is, notorious for drug smuggling and human smuggling. He stood there. He spoke to the agents. He's been speaking to the boots on the ground for over 8 years.
8 years. And Kamala didn't speak to him at all. Yep. The first time she went down there, did a photo op, came, made some raggedy speech. Don't come. And this time she went down there, who did she speak to?
He's spoken to him, asking what's going on. He's gone through the National Border Patrol Council numerous times. He stood there for over an hour in over 100-degree heat with victims of families from illegal aliens, and he spoke to reporters. Vice President Harris went down there, and she spoke to 2 members of management. She didn't speak to agents.
Nope. She don't want that kind of smoke. She has to have a controlled environment. Don't stick me out there so that I'll get caught on video getting booed or cussed out by the citizens. Because they all know I'm fake. They all know I let them down. I was a part of an organization that created the problem and didn't care nothing about them. They all know I was okay with that narrative that the Border Patrol is whipping Haitians down there. They all know that. So let me go to 2 people. Go ahead, talk to them, ask them a couple superficial questions, then go and make a speech somewhere. But I don't really want to get down in the muck and the mire. Surely she don't want to take a press conference like Trump did.
She spoke to 2 members of management, and I'm going to tell you, I bet money that even those 2 members, I feel bad for them because I guarantee you they didn't even want to be there. But she spoke to these 2 members of management, and she was there for 20 minutes for a photo op. That's all she did. President Trump actually cares, and he's actually gone down there and met with boots on the ground, and he's done it multiple times for long times every single time he's been there. This is just nothing but a complete photo op. That's all it is. It's her Hail Mary before the election.
Yep. Man, somebody riding around making noise for nothing. Yeah, her Hail Mary before the election. Now, I know they despise her. I know the Border Patrol despises her. I bet you the military despises her. Police despise her. I mean, I know anybody that is in any position to have to secure or protect American citizens or the homeland, how could they support Democrats? I mean, they're okay with putting everybody's lives in danger. They would be definitely okay with war, sending off our military to fight a war for something stupid so they can get some kickbacks or something stupid like that. They're okay with putting our Border Patrol's lives in danger, and all of us, so they can get illegal immigrants to come into the country and either be cheap labor or votes. They're okay with all of that. So I don't know, and they're okay with our cities being a mess and crime running rampant because they can use, the police to demonize Republicans and stuff like that. They're okay with that.
Have the vice president coming in today. Why do you think she's
Let's see
here?
if she fooled anybody.
Because she's the flip-flopper.
Flip-flopper?
And she's trying to get some votes at the last minute.
You tell him, old timer, because she's a flip-flopper, trying to get some votes at the last minute. What else?
Where was she 3.5, 4 years ago?
How do you feel about Vice President Kamala Harris's visit here today?
I'd like to be over in her face.
What would you tell her?
I'd say, it's about time you visited the border. I said, let me show you what it's really like.
It's all publicity. It's kind of like she's here. She doesn't care. She just cares about winning.
Why?
There you go. Wow, she's not moving the needle, guys. She's not convincing any of these people that she's sincerely trying to stop the border, the crossings and stuff like that. Maybe we might catch one and go, yeah, she seemed pretty sincere. I think she's going to pull it together.
Why do you think she's here?
Politics, of course.
Oh,
So you're not
politics.
being fooled?
No, absolutely not. I mean, she's had, 3.5, 4 years to do something of some consequences and hasn't done anything. And I don't think she's going to do anything but carry on another word salad, I guess.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement just released a report that tens of thousands of illegal migrants with sexual assault records, criminal records have been released into the country. They don't even know where some of them are, or even how they're going to get them back. How does that make you feel?
Pretty scared, but us living close to the border like that, this has been going on for almost 4 years now, so it's not new. It just needs to be stopped.
Needs to be stopped. You think Kamala's going to stop it? Because, see, I feel betrayed. That's how I feel. I knew they were doing it. The sad part about it, we watched it the whole time. Sitting there going, they are openly betraying the American people, and they think we stupid. They are just straight up like, we're bold enough to do this right out in the open because we got enough dummies in our country that don't see it for what it is. We got enough dumb Americans that aren't going absolutely berserk as they sit back and watch them open up our border and lie to us about these people who are coming here for a better life. And now all of a sudden that folks that are being impacted in these cities are getting a first-hand dose. Now all of a sudden, oh shoot. Oh crap, man. You telling me people in Chicago mad? Uh-oh. The New Yorkers are mad too? Oh boy. No, all right, so let's all go ahead and try to pull it together and pretend that now we're serious. Look, let's see if this guy fell for it.
If you had a chance to talk to the vice president today, what would you tell her?
She's honestly not worth talking to. She doesn't have a clue what's going on in the country. She's just there for herself. My message
wouldn't even be worth talking to. That's why I said if I was a Border Patrol agent and she's sitting there talking to me, whole time I just have my arms folded. Like, okay. Anything she asked me, so what do you think you guys need to help out for you to go ahead and completely shut down the border and tell everybody nobody can come across for any reason whatsoever? And then to go ahead and start sending everybody that's here back. There it is. That will be my only response.
to her is go back to San Francisco and fix what you screwed up. We don't need you here telling us what we need, because it's obvious after 3.5 years of being the border czar, she hasn't got a damn clue what's going on and what needs to be done.
I'm loving it. Oh, polls, Democrats' advantage with Latino voters continue to shrink. What? Why?
Steve, break down these numbers for us.
Yeah, Kristen, some interesting stuff here. Again, we see every 4 years the Latino vote becomes a bigger and bigger share of the overall electorate. Well, among Latinos, our poll shows Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump 54 to 40%. Now,
wait a minute. Wait just a minute, though. Wait a minute. Because if Trump is increasing in his Latino aren't these supposed to be people who love illegal immigrants, considering the majority of them are from Latin America? I mean, they're not supposed to care about their own jobs and safety and stuff, because they're supposed to put all of that aside because these are people of Latin descent. That's what's supposed to happen, right? Just like black people. Black people are supposed to just say, you know what? It's okay that people from Africa and Haiti and all of these other African countries are coming here because they're people of color. They're black. They're black. So it doesn't matter whether they're legal or illegal. That stuff don't matter to me. Okay. All of the rules go out the window if I can look at somebody and say they got the same type of melanin in their system as me. Or could it be that Latinos aren't dumb and neither are we? We're not going to be manipulated to jump on board with a cause that really helps the Democrats and not us. We're able to distinguish and tell the difference between legal and illegal immigration. Has nothing to do with race, nationality, and all that stuff I told y'all before. If they were all brothers coming across that border, I'd be going to take your butt back to where you came from and come the right way. Okay. So let's see how much ground Trump has made with the Latino vote.
Some context. This is a little bit better for Democrats than they were doing among Hispanics when Joe Biden was their candidate. But I think the bigger story here is historically, 54-40 now is a 14-point advantage for the Democrats. Take a look back at the last 3 presidential elections, and these were the results in the exit polls among Hispanic voters. That 14, look at that cut there, almost 20 points less than just 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, we were saying Donald Trump had made inroads with Hispanic voters. This suggests that has continued apace.
What is going on?
Talking a little bit about the issues, what's the most important issue? We asked in this poll, abortion clocking in there, and Kamala Harris, big advantage. We see that being competent and effective. Kamala Harris leading there as well. But then the biggies, these are the ones.
Yeah, let's get to the nitty gritty.
That Hispanic voters are saying are the most important to them. Economy, small advantage, Trump, inflation, 9-point advantage. And how about that? On the border and on immigration, Donald Trump with a double-digit advantage, 13 points in our poll. When asked who would be better on this issue, Hispanic voters are saying it's Donald Trump. They ask a basic question of Hispanic voters, which party do you more identify with? 37% now say Republicans, 49% say Democrats. But again, look at how this has shifted in just the last dozen years.
Wow. Look at that. Now, I know the Democrats got to be concerned about those numbers. So in 2012, 62%, then 2016, 59. Look at, we're chopping away at that number. We're down to 49%. And you know, they're looking at that like, well, we thought the Latinos loved. And I want to see the latest polls on black men when it comes down, because we're walking away from that mess too.
2012, this was a 41-point advantage for the Democrats. It has come all the way down to 12 points, Kristen, a 29-point drop.
Thank you.
Can you talk about...
Uh-oh. So now here's their expert to come out and explain why this is happening, guys. They brought out a man, woman. I don't know what this is. This is a woke, wait. I know they're woke. But it's a woke woman, man. I don't know. I can't even make the call. But nonetheless, MSNBC brought this person out to speak on behalf of all the Latinos and explain why they're starting to go ahead and come towards Trump. So let's see. First things first, I still don't know what this... I honestly don't know if... When I was watching this clip, I was like, I don't know if this is a man or a woman. But... nonetheless, let's see this excuse.
How these Latino voters are thinking about immigration and why they lust for the tough hand on the border wall.
So the first I'm clear is people come at me. Kamala will win the Latino vote,
yes,
right?
And that's clear in the overall
and that's clear, okay. But then, okay, so even think about this idea, send them back. Now, there is a group, a small but growing group of Latinos that when you say...
Oh, now they're just small. That group of small... Now notice this person is a propagandist. They're a woke person whose job is to come out there and say, everybody calm down, just watching the fake news. Don't think that this is a thing. Don't think that they're really moving towards Trump. Okay, I'm here to calm y'all down and let y'all know. Don't start saying, well, maybe we need to look more into this too, since the wave is moving that way. So I'm going to let you know that it's just a small group, but they are growing. But I'm going to tell you why they're growing, because they're not like us. They're not like us. Now, once again, I still have no idea. Because see, I want to say you need some bass in your voice, but I don't know. I might need to say you need some treble in your voice. I don't know. I don't know what this person is. So let's continue, though. Because I was ready. I was like, you need some, maybe treble? I don't know. So let's continue, though. Because here's why the Latinos are leaving.
They send them back. They do not see themselves reflected in that them. No, they see themselves reflected as the other. And then you make sense of the numbers that you're seeing out there right now. The Latino electorate is so different from our parents' generation.
Why? Why?
It is an electorate where third-generation Latinos are the fastest-growing segment. It is an electorate that is overwhelmingly young. The majority are U.S. born, under the age of 50, and most people speak in English. And so Trumpism is sort of betting on this idea that you can invoke a certain type of racial and ethnic grievance. No, they're betting on this.
Oh, God. You hear the woke man, woman? So now all of a sudden, Latinos, you're about to become racist. That's what she is about to say. You're about to become a racist. Yeah, you're third generation. You speak too much English. You got a nerve to care about your jobs in your neighborhoods. Now it's about aboutism. It's about, you know what, we're better than them from coming. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. But they need to have an excuse of why. They can't just say, these people are smart enough to know that we're abusing the system. Yeah, they can't just say, you know what, Latinos are able to see right from wrong. They're able to say, wait a minute. Why is it that these people could come any kind of way they want, and I and my family and my grandfather and grandmother had to come the right way? It can't be that. Now all of a sudden it got to be some type of racism mixed in.
This idea that within that segment of Latinos, within that picture, they have become so Americanized, and so assimilated that they...
Yeah, so Americanized, so assimilated. In other words, so what? White nationalistic? The patriarchal system. There it is. You've adopted the... the Western imperialism, all of it. This is the crap that they use. They send this little Marxist out there, this little manipulator, trying to explain it, man.
Too can sort of buy into the nativism and the anti-immigrant rhetoric, and even perhaps with more force. Why? Because there's a fear among some Latinos that we will always be otherized.
No, there we go. There we go. Why? Because there's a fear amongst Latinos. Now, first of all, this person looks about 20. 21. This person will fall into the category as a young generation Latino, but they're probably some type of Marxists, and they're woke. So now all of a sudden you're trying to speak on behalf of all the new young generation or third generation Latinos and explain why everybody's gravitating towards there. They have to come out with an excuse for Latinos, blacks. Anytime they start seeing groups that are traditionally supportive of the Democrat Party starting to move, it can't be because we're smart enough to see what they're up to and we're waking up. Can't be that. Got to be. Trump's manipulating us. He's tapping into our darkest fears, our anxiety, our racism, or your mind right now is trapped into the Western. So this person obviously hates America based on what he or she is saying that these Latinos are starting to think like.
They're betting on this idea that you can invoke a certain type of racial and ethnic grievance. No, they're betting on this idea that within that segment of Latinos, within that picture, they have become so Americanized.
Americanized. What does that even mean? So Americanized. You don't want people to become Americanized? You want all these Latinos that's coming over here setting up Venezuela gangs and stuff like that to just, all create their own little Venezuela in America? You don't want them to start to become Americanized so they don't feel like they got to act like they did when they was in Venezuela and all the crime and stuff and the behavior that took place. You don't want that? You don't want that? You gotta be kidding me.
And so assimilated that they too can sort of buy into the nativism and the anti-immigrant rhetoric.
Basically, buy into the racism. They too can buy into the nativism. Basically, they can buy into the racism, white supremacy, and all of that stuff.
And even perhaps with more force. Why? Because there's a fear among some Latinos that we will always be otherized. And we will.
That is not the fear. I know a lot of Latinos, and nobody ever brought that up. Nobody. But this person is using this as an excuse to justify why those poll numbers are changing.
Always be these perpetual foreigners. And when you put all of that together, infused with that
Perpetual foreigners. Who's thinking this? Do you understand? We had a whole area of Youngstown called La La Land. It was all Latinos in Youngstown when I was growing up. Had some of the most gorgeous girls up there. We used to ride our bicycles, our Huffies, our Apollo 5 speeds, our Swins 10 speeds. Go up in La La Land and scope out the girls, hang out with the Latinos. The blacks and the Latinos hung out together. Yeah, man. And here this person that we're talking about, they're always going to feel otherwise, like they're not a part. And I'm going, nobody's saying that. I have not met one Latino person who said, I feel like I'm not really a part of the country. I feel otherwise. I feel otherwise. This person's making stuff up just like they make stuff up as an excuse why black people are walking away.
That fear-mongering, Trumpism is powerful.
I'll tell you, do we believe her now? After she's had almost 4 years to solve the border crisis, and all she did was make sure that it was wide open. She never even bothered to go to the border until just this past week. And that's because this is one of the #1 issues in the campaign. Everyone knows that when Donald Trump was in office, the border was sealed. Everyone knows that since Kamala Harris has been in office, the border has been wide open. And it's not just people who are migrants who are trying to come to this country for...
This guy right here decided to go on ABC and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you what she really up to. I'm going to expose her real motive so nobody thinks that this is a legitimate visit as we close. So go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead and beat up this lie. This whole narrative that she's going down to the border because she's serious now. Go ahead, my friend. Take us out.
A better life. It's criminals. It's gang members. Everybody knows that. It's terrorists. People on the terrorist watch list. Martha, this is too little too late. Nobody can believe her because her actions have said something completely different for 4 years.
I think the choice is extremely clear.
Some more. He going all over the place. My man just came off of one set, said, hold up for a second. Let me run over here. Give CNN some too.
On the one side, you've got a guy who created the best economy we may have ever seen before the pandemic. On the other side, you've got Kamala Harris, who's been asleep at the wheel for 4 years as they have destroyed the economy for middle-class Americans and people that are trying to climb that prosperity ladder. You got a wide open border. You got criminals and terrorists coming across it. And you've got instability all around the world because of their lack of a clear and stated foreign policy. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance provide an economy that works for everyone. He did it once before. He'll do it again. He sealed the border once before. He'll do it again. They'll deal with the crime that we have across our communities. These people aren't. The choice is pretty easy.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Yes, man. Oh, I can't wait. We're into 40 days. So I got 2 big events to look forward to. One, tomorrow, that beatdown that's going to take place with the woke weirdo. Oh, I'm going to be perched up to watch that one. Okay, here we go. And then, of course, the election itself. And then, of course, we have to deal with the fallout. Either way, it's going to be fallout. But I know if they try some shenanigans, which I don't know what kind of shenanigans they can pull off to overcome what I think is going to be a huge deficit for her. She's getting worse and worse as we go. People are starting to realize that, man, this is all manufactured. She's fake. She's synthetic. She ain't sincere. So they would have to do something so magnanimous that it would rip the country apart because folks wouldn't buy it. They'd be like, oh man, heck nah. However, after we give them that spanking, then of course we have to deal with them having a fit. But that's okay. I'm willing to watch them have a fit and deal with them having a fit to save the country. They're going to have a fit, regardless. So it is what it is. But we need this victory. We absolutely need this victory. Now, somebody asked me if I was going to show the debate live. Well, I don't have the technology yet. I haven't figured out how to do the split screen where where I'm live, do the split screen live. That means if I live streamed it, I would be live streaming it, and we'd be watching it together like we do my live stream here. So, you know, right now, I think I might go ahead and do my live show, a short one tomorrow, and then, you know, we all go off, watch the debate, and I'll come back on Wednesday and do some comments and follow up on some of the highlights, which it should be a plethora of them. Yeah. So let's do that for now. And in the meanwhile, on the way out, make sure you hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on. Somebody said, try, Kev, you can do it. See, y'all gonna make me. Maybe I'm looking to it. I'm gonna see if I can figure it out tonight. So we'll see. In the meanwhile, don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. You want to donate to the channel, you can. Don't forget to text MAGA to this number right here. And I think that might be it. I do have a Cash App, PayPal if you want to support the channel. And I love you guys too. Love you too. Somebody said, Kev, hit screen share. I could possibly do that. But you know what? I'm going to look into this. I'm going to look into it. All right. All right, y'all got me thinking now. All right, God bless America. Let's get ready to get out of here because I rocked the planet, beating my chest like a silverback.
This is awesome. Yeah,
I know you see the apes. I know you see the way we tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.